Welcome to Mission Sonlight from the Media Missionaries of Network 7 Media Center. During this quarter, we are learning about ministry in the South Pacific Division and the innovative ways our brothers and sisters are reaching into their communities with life-saving programming. Today, our journey takes us to the studios of Adventist Media in the South Pacific. A pandemic, lockdown, and facing the unknown created a thirst for answers in people. People are more open to learning, and when it's as simple as watching it on a phone or tablet, they tune in.
People have now got accustomed to using their devices to watch programs, even more so than what they were before. You know, look at some of the statistics for the streaming statistics in our division of popular streaming platforms increasing their subscription levels by 66%.
During this time of uncertainty, a new children's program was birthed.
When we went into lockdown the first time, we started producing a program called King's Kids, and that's gone global. And so we had to look at how do we respond to COVID-19 in a way that's going to build and grow children spiritually. And so after a few phone calls, King's Kids went into action. And now, 2 years later, we now have 144 programs that's gone out globally around the world.
Now it's time for the next steps of growth for the King's Kids.
But we now also want to look at what is the next part. What's the next stage for King's Kids? And so we looked at how do we reach a new generation? How do we reach a secular generation that's been impacted through COVID as well? I've seen children right around the world watching, worshipping, singing songs from King's Kids. But now that COVID is somewhat over and we're coming out on the other side of it, we're looking at what was the next step? What do we need to do moving forward to again continue to reach these young children for Christ? And so the team again got together and looked at coming up with a new program called The Rescue.
There are so many children and families that do not know Jesus, that need to know that He loves them and He wants to save them. The Rescue is a project that we're creating that is going to be relevant to the children and families of today. It's going to be using puppets and animation to tell the story of Jesus and the plan of salvation, using terminology that's going to be relevant to children that have never heard of Jesus before.
But they need to know who He is in the world today.
There's something called the 4 to 14 window. During the ages of 4 to 14, that is when most people make the decision to choose Jesus to be their best friend, to choose to follow Him. And that is the time when we really need to focus on putting resources into giving these kids an opportunity to know who Jesus is. And we don't want to miss that opportunity. If we can reach children, we can reach their families. If we can create something relevant to children, the families, the grandparents, all of the rest of them are going to follow along and learn about Jesus.
The Rescue will give an overview of the story of redemption and the great controversy. Children will learn about who Jesus is and how much He loves them.
The Rescue is being based on the Conflict of the Ages series. It's introducing who Jesus is. We're starting way back at the beginning, at the fall of Lucifer, going right through to where Jesus comes back. And in the middle, we're also looking at Jesus dying on the cross. And it's basically the whole story of the plan of salvation, the plan that Jesus has to save us all.
The Rescue follows a family of puppets and their friends who are learning about God.
Mum has had some engagement with Christianity before because her grandmother taught her and read to her from the Bible, but she'd forgotten all about that. Dad has had no introduction to Christianity at all. And this family is going on a journey of learning and discovering who God is through interactions with some other puppet characters. The family has 2 children. There's Jack and Melody.
Jack and Melody's friends include Allie and Chloe, Johnny and Cade. Other adults that Jack and Melody and their friends interact with at school include Mr. Joe and the librarian, who is a Christian.
Cade is not a really nice character. He's a real bully. We're going to see what can happen as he goes through the journey as Jesus works with him.
The King's Kids programming on Hope Channel Network and streaming online is changing lives of the children who tune in. Recently, the program staff received word of how their ministry is making a difference.
The King's Kids is a section called Discovery Bible, where 2 puppet characters are reading, learning and discovering all about the Bible through asking each other questions and reading together. In one of the episodes, there was an appeal for baptism, and we know that there are at least 2 children who were watching on the Hope Channel platform who actually wrote in and requested baptism following this section of the King's Kids. We were really excited about this. We really want to thank you for supporting the 13th Sabbath offering and supporting the King's Kids Rescue Project. We're really excited about the opportunity that so many children and families will have to learn about Jesus through this project, and your donating to this cause is going to really help to increase the kingdom and give these people that would never have known about Jesus the opportunity to do that. So thank you so much for your support.
On Sabbath, December 31st, the 13th Sabbath offering will be taken. Your gift will help a child somewhere hear about the story of Jesus. What better gift can you give a child than to help them know that Jesus loves them?
I want to thank you for your faithfulness in giving to projects like this, and particularly in this project of the rescue, because I know that it's going to have an enormous impact in the lives of young children right across our division, but also right across your division, right across the globe, as again children, young and old, come to experience, to know and to worship that same God that you and I love. So thank you for giving to this quarter's 13th Sabbath offering.
Reporting from the Adventist Media Center in the South Pacific Division, we are Network 7 Media Center, and this is Mission Sonlight.